It's the giveaway. It's the giveaway. So first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for everybody for liking and subscribing and commenting on these videos, because that's ultimately what keeps this channel going. We're getting bigger and bigger and bigger as this company grows, and so we're gonna give away something even bigger this time. It's time to give away a PSC bow. All you guys have to do to win this thing is the same thing that you've been doing. Like and subscribe to our channel, like every video, and comment. And you can comment as many times as you want. And when we go through and we pick, the more comments that you have or the more likes that you have, along with being subscribed to this channel, only improves your odds of winning this bow. We're literally giving someone a free bow, okay? Just to like and subscribe this video. So if you guys are interested in free stuff, and you didn't win this bow this time around, you didn't win these Vortex binos, you're still entered. Just stay engaged with the channel, keep liking the videos, keep commenting on them, and it's gonna help you win maybe trail cameras in the future, tree stands, things like that. Let's face it, guys, over the past, 20 years, guys are trying to outdo their neighbors. They're trying to draw more deer to their property, and they're really trying to get down to the nitty gritty and figure out what works best for food plots, what one's gonna be the most attractive, what can I get away with planting in that late summer time frame. And we talk a lot about soybeans, we talk a lot about corn, because ultimately having a good grain late in the season allows the deer to have variety. Even if you do plant that green food source in late July, August, September, depending where you are in the country, having variety is key. Okay, but let's say that you've got a spot that you just can't get away with getting into. Your hunting spot is down in a real wet, swampy area, and in the spring it's just way too wet to get a crop in. Well, let's face the facts, life gets a hold of you sometimes. You just don't have the time to go in there and get a spring crop done. If you really want to go in, get the most out of your time and effort, there's still things that you can do and get the best results ultimately out of one food plot and one planting per year. There's still things that you can do in the fall to ensure that you have a lot of success and good success during the deer season. So the best fall food plot that most people have never heard of or never, I guess, use is something we're gonna go over today. Any guesses? Think to yourself, what could Brett be thinking of? Well, the best food plot, fall food plot, not spring food plot, but fall food plot that nobody ever uses is soybeans, okay? Especially forage soybeans, not agriculture soybeans, but forage soybeans. I like using forage soybeans just for their browse, their browse tolerance, and basically they last longer is what I'm getting at. I can't think of the word right now, but basically they can tolerate the browse pressure a lot more and therefore last longer into the season. Most people are planting soybeans in the spring. Yes, I understand it, and there is a reason, but sometimes there's situations in which you can't, like we brought up before. Maybe it's super wet, maybe you didn't have the time. That's the reality. So if we plant soybeans in the fall, let's call it late July, let's call it early August, the downside to doing this is it's likely that your soybeans might not produce a pod, which is okay, but the perk is probably outweighs the cons. The pros outweigh the cons in my personal opinion, because the perk to putting these soybeans in late summer is that you didn't have to deal with all the browse pressure. You didn't have to put down a product like Milorganite. You didn't have to put up fencing or anything like that, because you had to keep the deer off those all summer long. So for whatever the reason was, you just didn't get them in. And honestly, it's a pro to a certain extent, because they take a lot of maintenance, they take a lot of time, they take a lot of effort. Don't get me wrong, planting them in the spring, you're gonna have the best food plot possible late season. But here's the thing that makes soybeans special in the fall. They're gonna be green, super long and through the season. And one thing a lot of people don't realize about soybeans is they're super high in protein. And having a high protein, palatable food source later into the season is hard to come by sometimes for deer. And so by planting our soybeans super late in the summer, they're going to stay green super long. And think to yourself, when you're driving around in the summer, where do you see, especially in ag country, where do you see all your deer? You see them in the soybeans, in the green soybeans, guys. But very rarely is there green soybeans through the fall. Now, don't get me wrong, frost and all these other things can make a difference when it comes to how long these soybeans last. They might not be mature enough to produce a pod, but at the same time, when everybody else's soybeans go yellow in the neighborhood because they planted them in the spring, or they just ultimately were planted for agricultural purposes, and you're the only one that put them in the late summer, you might have the most attractive food source at a time in which other people have nothing. Yes, there's radishes and turnips and all these other greens that are really good to plant for fall blends. And in fact, you should probably incorporate them all together in certain cases. Mix them all together and have the ultimate fall food plot, just because it would keep the browse pressure down on those soybeans if there's any other things for these deer to forage on within a blend. So you could add it to a blend, you could put it in on its own. Regardless, guys, if you take not an ag bean, but a forage soybean, and you plant it in the fall, there's a good chance that you're gonna have a lot of success this upcoming season. So if you guys like this video, like any of these videos that we're coming up with, I suggest that you subscribe and like. And why do I tell you to do that? So we're doing giveaways, and ultimately if you are subscribed and you like these videos, and even if you're dropping comments, you're upping your chances of winning a lot of these prizes that we're giving away. So if you like the content, or maybe you got an idea as to a different video or a different video topic that we could talk about, throw it down in the comments below, and we appreciate the like and subscribe. See you guys next time.